guys, and welcome to episode 128 of the SoFLo Sports Show. It's your host, 305 Sports Babe, co-host Lou from Dade, and we are Pittsburgh bound. This episode, special episode, Yins versus Finz, Finz versus Yins. We'll get into that in a little bit. Tonight we have a special guest who covers the Steelers. We will be leaving on Friday for our few days up in the Steel City. I've been there many times. Lou hasn't, so he's a rookie. Yeah, no, looking forward to it, and we are looking forward to the Dolphins keeping this thing going. They are hot right now. They are on a big-time winning streak. Granted, against lesser opponents, but still, we take the win all the time, and so we are looking forward to seeing if they can do it one more time against a considerably tougher opponent this Monday night in a very not normal weather conditions for our Miami Dolphins. So we'll see if they can get it done. No, the opponent's one thing, then you take the weather, then you take a Monday night primetime game. So there's a lot of factors that are going to go into this game. So no doubt. And they're coming off, like I said, a big win against the Jets, a dominating win. The Jets are the Jets, we understand, but still the defense played balls out. They played really well. The offense was going early on. So there's momentum heading into this Monday night game, and the Steelers as well, we have to admit, are coming off a big win against the Ravens. So they have some momentum as well. So this is a big test for both teams, and looking forward to being there in person and seeing it live. Definitely. All right, so let's bring him on. So without further ado, let's bring on our guest tonight, Jarrett Bailey. You can see Jarrett Bailey. He's a NFL writer for Sporting News. He is the host of the Pumpfake and also Bleav in Steelers. So we are very excited to have you, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us.
There's going to be a lot of Dolphins fans who recognize me, because Dolphins fans notoriously just don't like me because I'm a big Josh Allen guy. So this will be good. I'm sure a lot of them will enjoy this. No, we're excited to have you. Though it's, Dolphin fans are very active on social media, so I'm sure you'll see some that you definitely know joining us tonight. He definitely lost us with the Josh Allen kudos. I'll tell you what, it is tough to hate on Josh Allen. Obviously, he's a rival, but he's a good guy, man. Good guy, funny, does a lot of great stuff for the community. So it's hard to hate him, but as Dolphin fans, we unfortunately have no choice. Yeah, that's how it goes with, interdivision stuff. I'm a big Joe Burrow guy too. And I wish that it's weird. As a Steelers fan, obviously, don't like Baltimore. No Steelers fan likes Baltimore. The Bengals, I don't have a reason to hate the Bengals, really. A weird, sick part of me was totally okay if they would have ran the table and won the division just so we could see, Burrow try to make a run. So it is that weird line that you hover. It's all right, yeah, they're in the division, but there's a difference between an actual rivalry and then whatever the Steelers-Bengals is. I don't think Steelers-Bengals is even a rivalry, personally. You mentioned Bengals, so after we see you guys on Monday, it's a short week, and we play the Bengals on Sunday, which was supposed to be a Sunday night game, but they flexed it to 1 o'clock. So we were looking forward to the night game. Now it's a 1 o'clock Burrow matchup, but nothing but love for Joe Burrow when he's healthy, right? Right. That's true. He can get the job done. The Dolphins, of course, will be wearing their throwbacks for that game. But yeah, when you got two teams that currently are losing, yeah, and they're some of the best in the major in football. Those uniforms are classic. So, but yeah, when you get two teams with losing records, that game had to be flexed out, rightfully so. So I want to start off by asking you a question right off the bat. Favorite Steeler of all time? Big Ben. It's, the first game I remember watching was in 2004. That was Ben's rookie year. So from my kindergarten year till the year after I graduated college, that was my guy. So he'll always be number one. Always will be number one. So I have nothing but respect for Ben. Mine's actually Troy Polamalu, followed by Alejandro Villanueva. So I got a lot of love for Steelers as well. Do you have a favorite Steeler player of all time? I'll probably go back. I like Hines Ward was pretty good. Okay, that's another good one. Hines Ward was a favorite of mine. So yeah, and the Steelers have a rich tradition. I'm excited to go up there and see it all for the first time. So all right, so Jarrett, before we get into the actual game itself, I want to get the pulse, the beat of pulse of the Steelers nation right now. 7-6 record coming off a big win in Baltimore, but still 3-3 in their last 6 games. This game was huge this past Sunday at the Ravens. That puts you in the driver's seat for the division in the AFC North. But what overall is the state of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now going into this game? It's unfortunately familiar. Where over the past 5 years, this has kind of been the territory that they've occupied, which is all right. Yeah, they're in it, whether it be holding a slim lead in the division late, or in the hunt graphic in middle of November. That tends to be where they are. Last year was a little bit better because they were 10-3, but then they lose out and then lose in the wild card. This time around, before winning on Sunday, they had lost 5 of their last 7. So the collapse had, come earlier than it usually does. You look at the schedule for them, this game against Miami, I think it's winnable, but then they go on the road to Detroit. That's not going to be, they're not winning that. And then they close out, they go to Cleveland. So take care of business against Shedeur Sanders. They should be okay. And then they close out against Baltimore. So it's very up in the air. When you're not a great team, you can't just pencil in wins. And I'm certainly not going to do that on Monday night. Do I think that they'll win on Monday? Yes. But, I'm not going to be somebody who pens that in as a win. So, it's unfortunately familiar. They're not a bad team. They're not a great team. They're just right smack dab in the middle, which is not where you want to be in the NFL. And that's where they've lived for a good portion of the last decade. So familiar territory. And I don't expect it to be too much different in terms of where they finish in terms of record. They could still win the division this year because the rest of the division hasn't been great. But if they draw, Buffalo in the wild card round, well, we just saw what that looked like last Sunday where they lost by 3 scores. So it's, trying to be hopeful, but at the same time being a realist and understanding that, this isn't a team with like a super high ceiling.
So I'm going to bring you back to that Buffalo game. I'm sorry. Week 13, you guys lost against Buffalo at home. Fans were booing, right? Yet they were yelling, "Fire Mike Tomlin," which us as Dolphin fans, we did the whole fire Coach McDaniel for quite some time at this point. But Mike Tomlin, he's won a Super Bowl. He's never had a losing season. Is year 19. Is it time for a coaching change if the Steelers kind of stay the same Steelers, if nothing changes after this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many years that you can go, without a playoff win and still skate by. I mean, if they don't win one this year, it's 9 years without a playoff win. So, that's not a short amount of time. And, you look at everything that's happened in the NFL since Mike Tomlin's last playoff win. Like Sean McVay wasn't the head coach of the Rams yet. Dan Quinn went to a Super Bowl with Atlanta, lost that Super Bowl, got fired from Atlanta, was the Cowboys defensive coordinator for a couple years, then got hired by Washington and then won a playoff game all in the span of, the last time the Steelers won a playoff game. The Philadelphia Eagles had Doug Peterson. They won a Super Bowl, fired Doug Peterson, hired Nick Sirianni, and have gone to 2 Super Bowls. So it's a lot of things that have happened. And all while the Steelers have just stayed this very stagnant team. They haven't reached too many highs. They haven't reached, super lows either. But at some point, you have to aspire for more. And, if they go 9 years without a playoff win, I just don't think that there's a valid argument as to why he should stick around. They won't fire him. They would trade him. It would be a situation where they would go to him and be like, "Look, this isn't working. If you still want to keep coaching, then, we'll send you somewhere where you want to go." But I just don't think that there's really a logical reason to keep him around. Even if they do win a playoff game, I still don't know long term if he's the right guy. It just feels like the game's passed him by in a lot of ways.
Definitely.
I know you had a question, but I want to jump in and piggyback off that answer. Have you heard any connections or anything up there that has indicated, because there's been talk down here that if he is let go, that they'd be interested in bringing Mike Tomlin down here? Have you heard anything of that nature?
I'm not going to, pretend that I have eyes and ears in the building in terms of sources and whatnot. But would it make sense? Sure. Because Mike is a guy that can stabilize things. I don't think that he's going to take a group over the top. But if you're a franchise that needs just stability and to get back on the right path, obviously Miami's won. They've won their last 4 games, but they were 2-7 at one point. There's questions about McDaniel if he's head coach material. I'm sure that a lot of Dolphins fans would sign up for that because I think that he could get them 10-win seasons, consistent playoff berths. What happens after that, I don't know. It's the same thing with a team like the Giants or the Titans, where I'm sure Tennessee would absolutely sign up for Mike Tomlin because he could elevate what they currently have. He could stabilize that organization and get them back to contending. Same with the Giants. So in terms of like teams that would want him, yeah, there wouldn't be a shortage. And that's like the excuse that everybody uses, right? When they're like, oh, you can't fire Mike Tomlin. He'd get a job again in, 5 seconds. And for, can I swear on the show, by the way? I don't want to.
You should say some bad words. Yeah.
I don't give a shit if he would get hired in 5 minutes. I don't think any Steelers fan does. I'd wish him well. It's just in terms of like being the head coach of my favorite team, it's time for something new.
Definitely. All right, so I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers looked decent last week, right? I want to know what your thoughts were when you guys signed him in the offseason. How would you rate his performance thus far this season? And do you see him making a playoff run for you guys?
I was pretty happy when it happened.
I'm 42. I also want to add his age, 42.
Yeah. No, he is on the older side. He's the oldest player in the NFL right now. Well, I guess no, he's not because Philip Rivers is so second oldest now. Yeah. So I was happy when it happened. Going into the offseason, I thought that they were going to re-sign Justin Fields. Mike Tomlin is, for the past couple of years, really talked about quarterback mobility being something that he's, wanted. And, Justin Fields gave them that. He played well in the first 6 games. I thought that was the route they were going to go. They didn't. He went to New York for more money, understandably so. I get it. And so Aaron Rodgers becomes the guy. And, there was like a portion of the fan base is like, oh my goodness, I'm done with the Steelers. And then as soon as he signs and plays, well, everybody, oh, Rodgers. Yeah. So that's how fans are. And that's what it is. But I was happy about it in terms of his performance. Hasn't like lit the world on fire, although there has been games where week 1 threw 4 touchdowns and no picks. Week 7 against Cincinnati in a shootout, he threw 4 touchdowns and looked like the vintage Aaron Rodgers. And then this past week against Baltimore, where he's consistently pushing the ball downfield and getting completions, threw for nearly 300 yards. So we've seen moments where he's looked like vintage Aaron Rodgers, but we've also, from weeks like 10 to 12, 10 to 13, it was, he didn't throw for 200 yards in any game. The offense was really stagnant. So there's been some pretty decent highs, but there's also been some pretty bad lows. But he's also thrown for 20 touchdowns now, which is 4 more than any other quarterback in a season since Ben retired. And we still have a few more games to go. So, there's still some shades of all right, yeah, that's still Aaron Rodgers. He's not 4-time MVP, 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in a season, Aaron Rodgers. But you see why, he's going to prance into Canton as soon as he's done playing. It's a special player, and some of that has shown up this season. But, when you're 42, you're going to take a little bit of a step back. So if I had to grade his performance, I'd give it a solid B. Okay. And the things that he's done thus far have been pretty good.
Do you think he has one more year left after this season?
I wouldn't be surprised. I know that, he went on McAfee in the offseason. It was like, yeah, this is probably going to be my last year. But when they were coming off the field in Ireland, he was, talking about, oh, next year, we got to do this again next year. So he's hinted at it, at potentially giving it one more go. If the Steelers want to, if they don't love the quarterbacks coming out of the draft, or if they're not in position to take one, or if they don't want to move up for one, whatever the case may be, maybe they bring him back for one more year. I'd still lean that he probably retires, mostly because then he's going to be 43. How much more can he really have to give after this season? So I'd still lean he's going to retire, but I wouldn't say it's a 0% chance that he's done after this year.
But definitely right into Canton.
Right into Canton. Automatic first ballot for everything he's done previously. But yeah, look, you mentioned turn back the clock. He even had a rushing score last week. So definitely, vintage Rodgers, at least for that one game. Jared, I want to shift gears here and talk about, before we get into the game, I want to mention the big trade, obviously, that happened between both teams in the offseason. Who won that trade?
Minka comes down here.
Minka comes here. We shipped up Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith to you guys. And so, both players have had – Jonnu Smith actually had a tremendous year last year, tremendous year for the Dolphins, 884 yards, nearly 1,000, 8 touchdowns scored, led the team in receptions, broke every single season record for a tight end in Dolphins history.
Yeah.
And Jalen Ramsey also had some big plays. Minka, this is now his second stint with the Dolphins, started here first. So who do you think won this trade overall?
I think it's pretty even, because Jalen's given the Steelers something that they really needed, which is a versatile guy who he started off. I remember being at training camp the first day, and they in their first set of team reps, he started off out wide, then they moved him to nickel, and then they moved him to safety. So like they needed that versatility, and they wanted Jalen to be that piece. Now he's full-time safety and doing really well there. With Minka's one of my favorite Steelers of all time. So like when I saw the trade, I saw, all right, Jonnu and Jalen coming to Pittsburgh, that's cool. You pair Jalen with Minkah, that's great. And then you say, oh, Minka's going back to Miami. It's like, that's a bummer. Because like I said, I love Minkah. I like selfishly was really hoping at the deadline that he would get traded to a team that could win a championship because he deserves it. And I would have really liked to see him get a ring. So I think it's as even as you can make it, especially because Jonnu Smith's been like expensive Connor Hayward at this point. Like he hasn't really been a focal point of the offense, and that's not necessarily his fault. I just don't think he's a good fit for what Arthur Smith wants to do. So at that point, I think it's as even as you can get. Minka had the pick 2 against New Orleans. He's got another interception on the year so far. He's been the leader in the vet presence that Miami's needed on that side of the ball. It's a young group that's lost like their top 3 corners on the year due to injury. Yes. So, they needed somebody who can wear a lot of different hats, not get overwhelmed by it. And he's fit that role really well. Roswell Douglas is another guy that they have who I really like. That's, a reliable vet who can, do a lot of different things and stabilize a unit. So I think both teams got what they needed in return in terms of Miami getting reliable veteran who can do a lot of different stuff. The Steelers kind of getting that same thing. But, being Mega's one of my favorite Steelers of all time, wish him nothing but the best, was bummed when he got traded, but was very happy when, to see that Jalen Ramsey came and the things that he's done this year. He's been very productive, played very well. So it's as even a trade as you can get with, 2 30-year-old defenders.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that the second part, which obviously wasn't directly involved in the trade itself, but the Dolphins ending up with Darren Waller has proven to be an upgrade based on Jonnu Smith's year this year so far. Still 4 games left, obviously, but that's that right now I think is a tipping point. But again, he was not a player that was in the initial trade. That was a move made afterwards. I did want to get your opinion. You mentioned Minkah was one of your favorite Steelers. How was he perceived in Pittsburgh? And then also, how has Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith been taken in by the Berg?
Yeah, I mean, whenever a guy's a 3-time All-Pro and he consistently makes splash plays from the minute that he shows up, it didn't take long for people to be like, all right, yeah, Minka's that dude. There was a lot of people who, once the splash plays started not happening, they just assume, oh, he's Minka's washed. It's like, no, safety play is just much more than ball hawking and picking off passes. He largely kept the lid on the offense a lot, even when he wasn't getting interceptions. So I think that the average fan thought that he was washed and done because he wasn't getting 6 interceptions a year. He went in 2023, didn't have a pick. I think he had 1 in 2024. So there was a portion of the fan base who just assumed that he was all of a sudden bad. It's not necessarily the case. He dealt with a lot of injuries, and as you get older, those splash plays are going to come a little bit less frequently. So it was weird near the end. But I mean, he'll always be very, near the top of the list in my book. I love Minkah. He came at a time when they really needed him after Ben got hurt that year and they traded a 1 for him. So, 3-time All-Pro, one of the best safeties of this era. I'll never have a bad word to say about him.
All right. I got one more before we let you go. Score prediction. It's Monday night, Steelers Dolphins. It's going to be cold. Before the game, is it before at halftime?
At halftime.
At halftime, they're going to be inducting Ben Roethlisberger into the Steelers Ring of Honor.
As well as Pouncey
and Porter.
And Joey Porter.
A lot of alumni are coming
Another
up.
Former Dolphin.
Yes. Right. A lot of alumni are coming up to town. I personally know Alejandro Nueva is going to be up there. So it's just going to be a great Steelers kumbaya coming. So want to know what you think your score prediction for a Monday night showdown.
Before we get to the score prediction, I want to set this up. So obviously this is
I did a good setup there.
Yeah, you did, but you're getting right to the prediction point. We want to know, Jared, what exactly needs to take place for both teams in order for them to find success. And as we mentioned at the top of the show here, the Ravens coming off a big win. They are in control of their own destiny in the AFC North. They play the Ravens one more time in Pittsburgh, so that helps them. They have that safety net, if you will, whereas the Dolphins
have a 1% shot of making the playoffs right now.
1% chance, and also they cannot afford any losses whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that being said, what do the Steelers need to do and what do the Dolphins need to do in order to walk out Monday night with a win?
And then your prediction.
For the Steelers, if they get Derek Harmon, better chances, because when he's in the lineup, they're allowing less than 100 yards rushing per game. When he's out of the lineup, they are allowing, I think, like nearly 100 yards more. Like, it's insane what he means to the run defense. He missed the first few games of the year with a knee injury, came back. The run defense instantly got better. Misses last week against Baltimore, and they get over 200 yards on the ground. So if they can make the Dolphins one-dimensional, make Tua create, not let the offense get in rhythm, and, basically make it, all right, Tua, you're going to have to be the one that beats us, then I think that they have a pretty good shot. But if they let Miami, get into a rhythm, be multi-dimensional, be able to run the ball consistently and get into space, then that becomes an issue, because we saw in week 7 against Cincinnati where the Bengals did whatever they wanted. They were a bad rushing offense, and Chase Brown had a huge game, and then that led to Jamar Chase getting 16 catches. So if you can be unpredictable and multi-dimensional against the Steelers defense, then you can usually do whatever you want. But if they can shut down the run game, I don't know if Devin Ocean's playing in this game, and Wright's, a fine number 2.
As of right now, Devon Achane's playing. I mean,
Okay.
It hasn't been announced right now, but what we're hearing down here, he's coming up there, and he better figure it out.
He's trending towards playing, which he's been
all
pro, so he definitely got to suit up for us to have a shot. So
for sure.
Okay, so and whether we saw a Miami team in terms of the University of Miami Hurricanes went up there a couple weeks ago in very cold conditions, and were able to walk out of that same stadium against the Pittsburgh Panthers with a win. How cold is it supposed to be there, and how big of a factor is it going to be from the Dolphins to get up there? They do not play well in the cold.
No kidding.
No, they do not.
That element.
Let's see. I'll actually get my weather app pulled up right now and see how cold it'll be.
Yeah, because our weather app saying,
oh my Lord, yeah. So yeah, we got
what are you looking at?
high of 23, low of 16.
Dude,
So
I have to tell you, we were at the Dolphins Kansas City game 2 years ago. So I'm not scared of that. The Dolphins, baby. But let me tell you, I lived through negative 32, so that doesn't scare me.
yeah, I mean, cool. Tip of the cap to you for that. I would not have sat through that. I've been to one game as a fan, and I told you guys a lot. I'm not a big go to game guy. I've never have been, but I've gone to one game as a fan, and it was 2021. It was Steelers Lions. It was cold. It was raining. Ben didn't play that day because he had COVID. So it was Mason Rudolph against Jared Goff, and they tied. So that was a complete waste of my day.
Oh gosh.
So never again. If I go, it's in the box. I'll do the media stuff. I'm not as a fan. Not ever again. So I'm very much a sit on the couch and take it in that way. Negative 32. That's a big no for me. I'm a cold weather guy, but there are limits to that.
Yeah, we live in Miami Beach, so we still have our clothes from Kansas City. We have to literally get in storage. Before I let you go, score prediction. What was your final score prediction for Monday?
Let's see. I think the spread opened at Steelers favored by 3.5. I don't know if it's moved a lot in that direction one way or the other. I think it'll be relatively low scoring just because of the weather, and the Dolphins typically don't play well in that cold weather. Offensively for the Steelers, I mean, you've got an old quarterback who's probably not going to dig being out there in that cold of weather. Albeit, he's in Green Bay, he's played in colder. So I'll say Steelers 23, Dolphins 17.
Okay, so a closer game.
All right. Well, we'll give our predictions towards the end of the show. But Jared, want to definitely thank you for joining us. Yeah. Please let everybody know where they can follow you and any cool stuff you may have coming up that you want to get out there.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at JBaileyNFL. Follow along with all the work at the Sporting News. Listen to the podcast, The Pumpfake. If you're a Steelers fan watching this, listen and watch Bleav in Steelers on YouTube and as a podcast. I think that's about it. And like I said, if you want to keep up with anything cool that I end up doing, have a few features and whatnot that I do each off season. So follow along at JBaileyNFL on Twitter to keep up with everything.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate your time tonight, and may the best Finns or Yins win this Monday.
All right, guys. Take care.
Take care. Bye. That weather doesn't scare me. I mean, I tweeted about that before. I guess if it was the old Ash, meaning pre Kansas City, I would be.
Yeah.
But we lived through Kansas City.
We lived. Like, I survived. We got all our fingers, all our toes.
I'm okay with that.
That game was on a different level. So it's like we earned our stripes that game, and nothing else would phase us moving forward. So I think we're going to be all right. But it is going to be cold, that being said, and it'll be a little bit of adjustment period because we're going to leave here on Friday where it's going to be in the high 70s, low 80s, and we're going to arrive and it's going to be in the 20s. So it's definitely going to be a little culture shock initially, but it's nothing we haven't seen before.
So let's talk a little more about Pittsburgh before we switch gears.
Yeah.
It is a city that I've actually been to many times, but I haven't been there in about 10 years. I think we did the math. So people say that cities change. You good?
Good, yeah, good.
Okay. So, obviously cities change over time. 10 years isn't a big time. But what I remember from Pittsburgh, it is an amazing, amazing city. The food there is excellent. It's your regular middle-class people. There's a lot to see. So I'm excited to obviously go back. It's been a while, and to show you some of the cool things that I experienced 10 years ago.
Yep, first time. I've been to Pennsylvania several times, but never Pittsburgh. Was hoping when the schedule first got announced in May, there was a leak that said this matchup was going to take place during week 3. And the first thing I did was go check the Pittsburgh Pirates schedule because we are on our ballpark trek. So we definitely wanted to visit the Pirates. You had seen them before, but I haven't. So wanted to get out to PNC Park, which is supposed to be one of the nicest parks in all of baseball.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that leak was incorrect. And here we are, week 15. Middle of December, it's going to be very cold. There's no baseball in sight right now. So we'll just have to have an excuse to go back. But we're going to definitely have a lot of cool stuff planned, and we'll get to that in a moment. But let's shift gears to talk about another Miami football team that had a big.
Are you talking football or soccer? So I don't know where you're going with this.
Oh, yeah.
This
not football as in soccer.
Okay,
I'm talking
hold back. Let me sit back.
Football, the pigskin. And so we're talking about the Miami Hurricanes.
Yes.
Miami Hurricanes
Selection Sunday
got the great news on Sunday, as you mentioned, Selection Sunday. Which, by the way, they should not do that at 12 p.m. while people are getting ready for NFL football.
No, it's a perfect time to.
I don't know.
It's what are you gonna do at 9 o'clock? So it's not fair to people on the West Coast. 12 o'clock is perfect. Do not listen to him on that tape because it gets ready. What do you want them to do at 1 o'clock when you do the 1 o'clock games?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, as a guy, I got fantasy, stats.
Promanti Brothers. Yes, Jeremy, we're actually going there either night 1 or night 2. But no, we have 2 Promantis down here. We have one in Fort Lauderdale and one in Oakland Park. So we've been to both.
We've been, but it's not
the official.
Yeah, not the official one. And they got the murals up there. So Jeremy, thanks a lot, my man. He had a podcast earlier tonight as well. So definitely follow. Rock and roll, no. All
right, so let's go back to the Canes. So Miami Mike, West Coast, and Miami plays Richmond Webb's Texas A&M. So when they announced this, because what we were saying is what we were hearing was that final 10 spot was either going to go to us or Notre Dame.
Correct.
We bring you guys back to the beginning of the season. The Canes beat Notre Dame here.
That's right.
So that was a huge.
Night.
Now, if we didn't, I don't think we would have got that 10 spot for sure. We
would. Oh, that's definitely a deciding factor. But when you look at this bracket as it is here, the fact that a lot of things had to happen.
Yeah.
Number one, Alabama. We thought Alabama had to lose, but they ended up getting in. And I'll be honest with you, when they did the reveal and I saw Alabama came in, I thought that the Canes were out because Notre Dame had been in the rankings the whole way through. They've been in all the prognostications of the brackets. They've been coming out every single time. So I thought that the Canes were done. But a couple of results did happen also in BYU getting absolutely destroyed by Texas Tech. So that dropped them out. And Duke beating Virginia. So even though Virginia did not have a great record, and even though they were not ranked ahead of the Hurricanes, if they had won that game and been the ACC champions at 10-2 with the same record as Miami, even though they didn't play each other, I thought that might have been enough to put Virginia in, the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
But when they lost, they were not going to accept Duke. They instead went with James Madison University, and then Tulane also got in. So the Canes, as you see here, are in the college football playoff, which is a tremendous story. The first time that they've been in this position. They are going to be going up against, as Miami Mike mentioned, Texas A&M.
So when they announced that, right? But before we go to that, Jeremy's actually going to be at the Oklahoma-Bama game.
Wow.
You got the life, kid, man. You see some great games.
That is awesome.
So when they announced Texas A&M and then obviously with the Canes, the first thing I thought about was Richmond Webb. I think a lot of us did. Obviously, everyone knows, or you should know by now, Richmond Webb did spend his collegiate time at Texas A&M with the Aggies, had a fantastic career with the Aggies. He's in the Texas A&M Athletic Hall of Fame and everything. So when they announced that, it's a rival against my brother. And I tweeted him. I said, Richmond, I said, it's going down. And then Dan from France got into it. I said, Dan, mind your business. Like, stay over there in Europe. Like, This is an American thing right now.
We love Richmond. We love everything about Richmond, but not this particular match.
So what I was thinking earlier is that, like, if Texas A&M was going against any else but Canes, I would go for them just because I have so much love for Richmond Webb. And obviously I went to a Big East school, so I have no skin in the game when it comes to college football. But man, like Richmond, if you're watching this, I do not know you. We are not talking. Like, it is not happening. We are all Canes. The game is next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday. It is a 12:30 p.m. kickoff. So
12 p.m. I think it's noon. I think it's a high noon kickoff.
You're right, because my game's at 12:30.
Right.
So
high noon kickoff.
Yeah.
In Texas.
Dan Campbell is also an Aggie as well.
At Kyle Field, one of the best home field advantages in all of college football. The Canes actually played there several years ago. My brother was at the game with his wife, Jenny, my sister-in-law.
Our sister-in-law.
Sorry.
We share that stuff now.
We do. And so Jenny and Danny were at that game. They came up just short. But they'll tell you that was a tremendous home field advantage, and they're going to have a shot. They're going to have a shot at Texas A&M. It's a different team, obviously, going into this game, so we shall see how it goes. And if you look, I don't want to look ahead because obviously you got to play that game first, but they are scheduled, should they win, to play against Ohio State at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. So that obviously, for its own reasons, would be a tremendous opportunity, as Ohio State got a horrible call, if I'm being frank, in 2001 against the Hurricanes when that yellow flag came out about 40 seconds after the play. They robbed us. The Canes should have 6 national championships. So if it ends up being UM and Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, that'll be a heck of a second-round matchup.
Sammy in the house. Good evening, my peeps. Good evening to you. Buenos dias.
Sammy had a great show last night. FINZ TV, definitely check them out, my man.
Jeremy also let us know that Devon Achane also went to Texas A&M.
Yep, that's right.
So I do want to mention just one thing about Notre Dame. When Notre Dame was announced that they will not be in the final 12-team college football bracket, they, Marcus Freeman and team, announced that they don't even want to participate in any bowl game. So, okay, before you get into that, that does happen, though, right?
That is so petty.
But it does happen.
Look, I get it, but it's not fair to those kids, And look, Notre Dame is a very high affluent school, and they do well.
Yeah.
But still, part of the lure of being a college kid and being a college football player is going to these bowl games at cities. You're there for a couple days. You get your gift package. You get to tour the city.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just letting you know what happened. It's a lot of fun.
I just think that's BS. It's not fair to those kids. And it's like kind of Bush League where like, oh, no, we're too good to play in a regular bowl game. Look, at the end of the day, the only stat you need to know, head-to-head, Miami won that game, and they were deserving of going. Now, I was one that was advocating for Notre Dame being ranked ahead of Miami.
He is not getting after me at all. I am telling my people. It kind of reminds me like when a NCAA basketball team doesn't make March Madness, right? Then they get the bid for the NIL tournament, and they're like, nah, I'm good. So I do understand that they have the choice to participate in that.
I think it's not fair for those kids, And again, Notre Dame overall playing as an independent this year, their schedule was not the best, but being an independent, they every year it seems like take on Michigan and USC and Pitt, and they play everybody a much tougher schedule than the ACC.
Okay, Jeremy said I always regret FSU played their bowl game after getting.
Thank you, Jeremy. I will say this too, as a UM supporter and advocate, I can tell you right now that I felt 100% bad for those FSU Seminoles. This was 3 years ago when it was not a 12-team playoff. It was a 4-team playoff. The FSU Seminoles had an undefeated season, and just because of the fact that their quarterback got hurt, they ended up not being able to compete for a national championship. Now, they got destroyed by Georgia, and it probably would have been destroyed in the Final Four as well, but that's not the point. The point is, if you win every game on your schedule, you've earned the right to play for a championship. It's not right. In the NFL, for example, have you ever heard of this? The New England Patriots had Drew Bledsoe as their quarterback. He went down, and some guy called Tom something, he came out, and they ended up winning a Super Bowl, right? So what if the Patriots would have not, which I wish would have happened, were not allowed to play in the NFL playoffs because their quarterback went down? That's BS. The FSU Seminoles won all their games that year. They should have played for the championship. And I have no problem saying that as a Miami fan. They got jobbed. And, Notre Dame, they have their case as well. But at the end of the day, they did play Miami and they lost. So it is what it is. I will. Last thing I'll say about this, college football and college sports in general needs a lot of fixing. The NIL deal is out of control. You're going to have to start making at least a 2-year requirement. You can't have free agency where players are bouncing around from team to team, university to university from year to year. That can't happen. And then look at what happened with Lane Kiffin. That's a horrific situation.
Don't even go there.
Where, their team, the Ole Miss Rebels, you worked for them for a little bit there. You had a history there. They are the 6th ranked team in the country, or 6th ranked in the college football playoff bracket. And, their coach just quit on them. Their coach left them. Now, I understand he had to pick between LSU and Miami, or LSU and Ole Miss. But, man, he left his team out to dry. And that is not right. So, college football, college sports in general has a lot to fix, in my opinion.
Sticking with college sports, I want to give credit where credit's due. Shout out to Luis Dominguez, Arizona Wildcats.
That's right.
Bear down.
Wildcat.
Okay, I am not, obviously, I Bleav St. John's to the core, but I'm very happy that your Arizona is ranked #1 in the nation. AP rankings, all the rankings have you guys
You're damn right we are.
Okay, easy
#1
there.
team in America.
Even though I thought St. John's would have definitely been in that spot. Super also excited that I'm going to share. Now that they switched all the conferences and stuff going on, Arizona is coming to Florida next month against University of Central Florida, UCF, and we'll be there. Yep. It's a holiday weekend. So really excited that you're actually going to be able to see Arizona against UCF.
I appreciate it. Yeah, the Big 12. Definitely. I was a big Pac-12 fan. I've been an Arizona fan my whole life. So it's a big deal for me. They've only played close to here twice.
Yeah.
They played at the Miami Heat's arena for NCAA tournament team.
AAA, whatever you want to call it.
They were in the tournament down here when they were not as highly ranked, and that was pleasant surprise for me. I also saw them in the Bahamas. And fun fact, I know Jeremy's in the room. Their last Florida appearance was in Tallahassee. They played the Seminoles in Tallahassee. I did not make it to that game. So the fact that they are coming down to play the University of Central Florida Knights every other year, I'm all for it, and I'll gladly be going up as often as possible.
So keeping with FSU and Jeremy, St. John's, I don't know if you do remember this, 3 years ago, St. John's and FSU played in the Orange Bowl Classic down here at Emirates Bank Arena. So we saw St. John's at Florida State. St. John's won. And then I also saw St. John's here probably 6 years ago now when they played it in the Air Force Invitational at the Kaseya Center. So it's just always great. Obviously Lou likes an Arizona team. Johnny's, and we don't get to see them often in person. So when they do come to Florida, we take advantage of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Russ in the room. Russ mentions.
Prayers and thoughts go out to you and the Eagles and the Eagles fan base.
That was a rough. And Russ, by the way, we needed the Chargers to lose that game. So thanks for nothing, buddy. We needed the Eagles to win.
Take your Christmas card back. We don't want it. But no, Russ, it is a very, very hard time to be an Eagles fan. Obviously, I have no room to talk. I'm a Dolphins fan. But, man, I don't know what's going on. If you want to send Jalen Phillips back, because it seems like you guys got him and you're just losing, and we're on a 4-game winning streak. So, anyways, all right,
let's switch gears.
I want to talk baseball really quick.
Okay.
Just a real hit about baseball. Baseball doesn't even start anytime soon, but the Marlins just announced something really, really strange I've never even heard. Our opening day was supposed to be on March 26th. It was a Thursday afternoon. And usually our opening days have been those afternoon games.
Right.
So just yesterday they announced, we're not going to do that. So our opening day is now pushed to Friday because they want a night game. So opening day Marlins against the Rockies is no longer on Thursday afternoon. Usually it's like a 4 p.m. start. We've gone to for the past 4 years. Now it is on Friday. It is a Friday, 7:10 because they want to do fireworks. So get your opening day tickets now.
Yep. So the Marlins, spring training will be here before you know it. All right, let's shift gears to a different type of football. I'm talking about football, F-U-T-B-O-L. And
a little asterisk.
Miami, the Inter Miami CF is your MLS champions.
Wow.
They're your cup champions. First time ever. The league's been around for 32 years. I think Inter Miami's been around for about 10 or 12 years, I want to say.
Love to see it.
But this is a big deal. And, of course, they are marked by the #1 player in the world.
Messi.
And you have the
I do. I'll show you Messi. I got Messi. I got your boy Messi.
So, Lionel Messi was named He wasn't named the MVP of the game, but he was named the MVP of the league for the second year in a row. So he's been in the league for 2 years, has won the MVP twice. So that is a monster deal. And, I mean, look at that right there. He has added some more hardware to his already growing and overfilled trophy case at this point. And he is just a man. He came down here. He delivered your back-to-back MVP, which has never happened in MLS history. And he is a champion now, again, with a different club, and this time in Miami and South Florida. So that's a big deal.
Fort Lauderdale, to be fair.
South Florida. So put up the team again winning. So congratulations to Inter Miami CF, your 2025 MLS Cup champions. And I want to add, they put us in Miami and South Florida in another exclusive club. They are now just the 5th city to win a championship in baseball, basketball, football, hockey, and soccer. They joined Washington, Chicago.
I was going to let them guess.
All right.
Okay,
so
no, you already said that. You already said the hardest ones. Okay, guys, just go ahead. It's those cities who
No,
won
the other two are come on. The other two, I'd say it's Washington, Chicago, and then LA, New York.
Yeah,
you got to go with the big cities.
easiest.
So the Miami, South Florida has joined that exclusive group there. So that is a big deal, and that's huge for Miami sports, South Florida sports. They are, as you mentioned, they're playing in Fort Lauderdale these days, but they played there for the last time as they are going to open up Freedom Park, the brand new stadium right by the airport. It looks amazing.
Dolphin Expressway 836.
Yep, and so they'll be opening up that building as champions. So that is a big deal down here in South Florida sports.
Keeping up with soccer, Russ. Ticket price for the World Cup or not for the fans? Okay, so they just announced the brackets on Friday. Obviously, the groups, the seating. So where everyone's going to go, all the different countries. So we got ours, and yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I looked, you looked.
No, we didn't get ours. What do you mean?
We looked at what games we're going to get.
Yeah.
Okay, let me rephrase that. We looked. We meaning I'm giving myself the pronoun of Miami. We meaning Miami.
Yeah,
It's Miami.
Yeah, we got our draw down here. We did not get tickets because, to your point, the tickets are very expensive.
Crazy.
I think the cheapest tickets on the last row, the upper level, is going for $2,000 per game. And it's not even like big-time teams. I mean, yes, Colombia's down here, of course, Brazil.
Ireland.
But they are not big matchups. It's group play, so the beginning matchups aren't the great. Now, I will say Miami does have a knockout game schedule, so they have a quarterfinal game, the last 8. That's a big deal. And they also have the third place game, which at the end of the day, nobody wants to be in that third place game because you want to play for it all. But the World Cup draw is out. The groups are out, and it's a big deal. It's going to be a tremendous summer. I know Russ is going to have it in Philadelphia as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty cool to see the World Cup play out this summer.
Let's talk a little hockey. Go Cats, go. The Cats play. They're in Utah, right?
They are in Utah on Saturday. Don't look now, but they are actually hot at the moment. They're on a 2-game winning streak. I say that joking around because they have not been playing well this year.
Wait, they play tonight. They don't play tomorrow.
No, they play on Saturday. They play.
But they play tonight as well.
Sorry, they play Friday. I don't think
they definitely play tonight.
Okay, all right, you can look it up.
I'm positive they play tonight.
Okay.
Jeremy, confirm. Jeremy, can you be on my side now? Panthers definitely have a game tonight. I saw it.
I believe they play at Utah tomorrow.
Nope, they play tonight. I saw it as well. Yep. Thank you, Jeremy.
Okay.
I just did.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So they
Lou's
are
wrong. Thank you. I love it. Repeat that again. No, they play. They definitely. I think it's like a 9:00 game. So it's
okay.
It's
so
not
it is against Utah tonight. Then sorry. Then I got my days mixed up. But yes, they are in Utah tonight. Fun fact: we mentioned on our show last year. It was the Utah Hockey Club, and they ended up having a drawing as to what their team name should be, and we were in favor of it being the Utah
Yetis.
We really liked the Yeti name, and that would have been pretty cool.
Colorado
but
tomorrow.
They ended up going with the Utah Mammoth, which the logo looks pretty awesome. It's a big mammoth, a wily mammoth with the tusks hanging out. They got cool uniforms, logo. So hey, that'll be the first ever matchup with the Utah Mammoth.
And it's tonight.
It's tonight.
I knew. I knew they played tonight. I personally, like you mentioned, I would have loved for it to be the Yeti. One of my favorite rides at Disney is Expedition Everest, where my Disney freaks out there. You guys know you go up the mountain and you find the Yeti.
Yeah.
And so that would have been very, very cool. I wouldn't have obviously traded in my Panthers card for that, but that would have been really cool to see. So no, we definitely fun. Okay, so we have their mascot is awesome too.
It is. Totally it's a really cool mammoth mascot, and it's going to be it's going to be fun to see that game tonight. And again, they are riding a 2-game winning streak, which says a lot. They were hovering in last place for the last 2 weeks here, but they're finally out of the cellar. They're now the 3rd worst team in the East. But look, there's a lot of hockey left to play, so we shall see where this goes the rest of the season.
Speaking of hockey, I'm really excited to share with you guys that on Saturday when we're in Pittsburgh, we're going to catch a Pittsburgh Penguins game.
That's right.
Penguins play the San Jose Sharks. And so it's a bobblehead giveaway, and Lou only has 1,194 bobbleheads, so he needs another one. But it is Sidney Crosby, so I will give you that. I will give you that. Okay, I did tell that to my boss, and then he was like, "Who is it?" And then I told him, and he was like, "Well, that's an exception."
Yeah, so, I collect bobbleheads, and I looked at the schedule. I'm like, "Oh, San Jose Sharks."
It's gonna be cool.
San Jose Sharks also have cool uniforms, and they kind of have the teal that the Marlins and the Dolphins kind of have, teal aqua. So I thought that'd be cool to check out that game alone for that. See one of the best players in hockey history, it's Sidney Crosby, and then it's his bobblehead game. We couldn't say no to that, so we will be in attendance at the, I think it's called P&G Paints.
PPG
Paints Arena.
PPG Arena.
So we'll be there. I think Russ saw a game there for the tournament.
The area's Columbus. Are you going to say? So we're staying at. It's like 3 blocks away. So we're staying closer to that side as opposed to going towards PNC Park. You also want to know if we're going to Winter Classic. Heck yeah, definitely. We have really good seats too. As Marlins season ticket holders, after they gave the Panthers season ticket holders dibs on tickets, since the game is being played at our home park, we got dibs on tickets. So I was able to snatch those really quick, and I'm very happy with our seats. So really looking forward to that. So we will definitely be at the Winter Classic this year. Yep.
And Russ says, it's PPG Arena.
Yeah.
And then Jerry mentions that, yes, Celebrini on the San Jose Sharks is going to be a stud. He's already a stud, and he's going to be a big player there. So we shall see that.
I need you guys for my vlog at the Winter Classic. We still got you. Don't even worry about that.
All right.
Are you going to be wearing your Panther stuff on Saturday?
No, probably not.
I will.
I'll wear my Dolphin stuff because it goes with the San Jose Shark color. So
I know, but I think I want to. Okay. And just to say hello to, yes, absolutely, Jeremy. We will for sure go on your vlog. We will go live with you on the Winter Classic. All right, switching gears, the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat had a shot to be going to Vegas, but they blew it last night in Orlando against the Orlando Magic. So unfortunately, our little ride mid-season to the Cup quarterfinals is over. We will not be going. Miami Heat will be going to Vegas. So that ends right there.
Yeah, I don't really like this NBA Cup deal, but that said, look, the Heat have done a lot of winning down here, and they have 3 banners, and they have the Olympic banners up there. So why not add another banner, right? So I was all in. It was against the Orlando Magic, our state rival, so that would have been cool to get another one up on them since they've never beaten us in the playoffs, and they have no titles, if I may add, but it was just not meant to be, and so they're going to be staying home. The Heat are actually riding a 4-game losing streak.
They beat us on Friday too, right?
They're correct. They're riding a 4-game losing streak, so the Heat need to get it together here at the end.
No, for sure. What's the purpose of this NBA Cup? Mike, I don't know. I think it's dumb. I think it's caused potentially more injuries mid-season.
Nobody wants to play for a trophy in December. It's not cool. And really, you go with this break. The Heat don't play till Monday now, and then they're off 4 days after that because as teams start getting eliminated, they have to rework the schedule in the middle of the season. Yeah. So it's kind of weird, and I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to last, but at least for now, people are still digging it. So we'll see.
I also, as we're still talking about Pittsburgh, Russ mentioned there's so many brewers in Pittsburgh. Yes. We are going to be eating and drinking so much. Talking about eating and drinking, guys. Anybody who is on the show tonight, first of all, like and subscribe, please. That means so much to us. Share the episode. It goes a long, long way. On Saturday, I will be hosting a FINZ fan Pittsburgh social. I'm really, really excited to do this. This is Saturday night, December 13th. So it's the Saturday before the Monday night showdown between the Steelers and the Dolphins. We will be at Mike's Beer Bar. This place has 80 beers on taps. The menu, they have a Yinz wrap that has, I even today.
You had me at 80 beers, so I don't care about Yinz wraps.
Then they have penne vodka, like noodles. It's just amazing.
Don't care. 80 beers. I'm going for all 80.
And the food. So guys, join us on Saturday. The event is free. FREE free. But I really need you to RSVP so I could have a number so I know how many people to expect. You'll get a door prize. Lou, can you please show them what the door prize will be?
Yes, absolutely. So get out of that.
I will.
And so it's going to obviously be cold. You heard Jarrett at the beginning of the show tell us the weather update in Pittsburgh is going to be cold. So similar as we did in our previous cold weather game, we will be giving out hand warmers. They are specifically marked hand warmers. So
that's Pittsburgh.
Come get your hand warmers at our event. We're also going to have some cool prizes.
Raffle, an amazing raffle. So
right.
definitely come out and support that.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this again. The Steelers are obviously famous for terrible towel.
I got that at a game.
However, let's throw that away.
Jesus, she almost let down my
The Dolphins were actually the creators of the towel, the rally towel, if you will, in the early 70s prior to winning back-to-back Super Bowls. They started waving what was known at the time as the horrible hanky at the Orange Bowl. And, of course, Pittsburgh decided to copy it. And instead of horrible hanky, they went with terrible towel, a play on the name. So we will have some of these there as well. We're bringing back the horrible hanky. We're taking back the rally towel idea that we came up with. So we'll have these available for anybody that comes to our party. And
if you buy raffle tickets as well, so you get one. So
correct.
Definitely come out. I have a horrible hanky. Well, Mike, we wish we could teleport you to Pittsburgh to get
there you go. It used to be white. It's now aqua because, we wanted to come up with a newer, enhanced version. So we made ours aqua, but it's got the aqua and orange, and it's awesome. And we will definitely have some out there in Pittsburgh at the
So point of the story, guys, if you are in town, please come to FINZ Pittsburgh Social. Again, Saturday, December 13th. Starts at 8. We'll run until about 10 o'clock. Mike's Beer Bar, which is right next to PNC Ballpark. Great place. We'll have a raffle. We'll have door prizes. Just a good time. Obviously, the name tags we do. So come out to Social on Saturday.
Yep.
Sunday and Monday, we're going to do some sightseeing. Roberto Clemente Museum. We're going to do that.
Yep.
Christmas stuff. We, in South Florida, don't really get to experience Christmas marketplaces,
That's
Christmas
right.
pop-up bars, a trolley. So you bet with those extra days, we're going to be taking in everything Christmas, Frosty Snowman, Rudolph, everything. So it's going to be very football, but very Christmassy, hanging out with Dolphin fans. A really good weekend, of course, the game as well.
Yeah, no, it's all leading up to Monday Night Football, 8:15, I believe, kickoff from Pittsburgh. So that's going to be awesome to see that. And as you mentioned, they are going to be retiring, or not retiring, sorry, they're going to be inducting Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, he's been retired.
Pouncey, who is the brother of Mike Pouncey, a former Dolphin.
Marquise Pouncey.
And of course, Joey Porter, who, as you see here, former Dolphin and former Steeler. So he'll be going into the Ring of Honor as well at Pittsburgh. So that'll be a good time. So
all right, so let's talk the game. Before we guys let you go.
Well, I have that as a question, so let's not do that yet.
Okay.
I want to look around the league really quick before we get to our question.
There's only one game that matters. Show us someone.
I know Russ is in the room and Miami Mike's in the room, so we're going to get to that question in a second. But here is the standings right now in the American Football Conference, the AFC. As you see there, the Dolphins right now are in number 11 with a 6-7 record. I'll spare you the meme, but they're at 6-7.
Please, we're not children.
We had a lot of bad breaks at the end of the day Sunday. The Bills beating the Bengals was a tough take for the Dolphins. The Texans losing to the Chiefs was a big deflating loss in the Dolphins' playoffs hopes. And then the worst of them all, Russ, I'm talking to you.
The Eagles lost Monday night, man.
The Eagles losing on Monday Night Football to the Chargers dynamically.
But that was such a bad game on both ends.
Yeah, but it really hurt the Dolphins because, of course, the Dolphins lost to the Chargers early on in the year, so they hold the tiebreaker, so we cannot finish behind them. So here are your standings right now. I want to give you some of the rooting interest for the Dolphins. You have those same Chargers going to Kansas City this time on Sunday, 1 p.m. So we need the Chiefs to win that game and knock the Chargers back to the pack there. The Bills and the Patriots. The reason why that game's important is because you need the Patriots to have wrapped up the division and possibly a number 1 seed, and that way they will not be resting. They will not be playing their players, but instead resting them in that finale against the Dolphins. So you kind of want to root for the Patriots in that game. The Jets and the Jaguars. If the Jets can somehow get it together and beat the Jaguars, that will help the Dolphins. Cardinals, again, we're rooting for teams that don't have a chance here, but the Cardinals have to beat the Texans, and the Seahawks need to beat the now Daniel Jones-less
Phillip Rivers,
Indianapolis Colts, and 44-year-old Phillip Rivers might for the Colts come Sunday. Who knows? I don't think so, but maybe he might be their best option. So we shall see.
All right. Okay, so all right, let's go to your contest.
All right. So as far as our contest, and again, we got Russ in the room, we got Miami Mike in the room. So let's put it up right here.
You can't do it. I
can't
got
do
you. All right,
So
there's
here's
yours.
the standings first. There was some movement at the top. Kirk has reestablished command of first place, so he's number 1. Fast Eddie at Eduardo is hanging in at number 2. Russ in the room tonight. He's hanging tight at number 3 with 11. Miami Mike, we'll skip to Miami Mike, is at he's tied for 7th right now with 8. So look, there's still 4 weeks to go. You know by now we do 2 questions a week. So there's still a chance to get back in the fight here, but that's your leaderboard presently going into week 15. And here is, without further ado, your week 15 questions. Your first question is, will the Miami Dolphins beat the Steelers on Monday Night Football? As Jared mentioned at the beginning of the show, they are 3.5-point underdogs in that game. So question number 1, will the Dolphins beat those Steelers on Monday Night Football in very, very cool temperatures? And then question number 2, Aaron Rodgers, total touchdowns, pass and run. Will it be over or under 2.5? For reference, he had 2 touchdowns last week. He threw 1 and he ran for 1. So is he going to have over or under 2.5 touchdowns? Do you want to answer the question or you want to?
I just spaced out thinking, I hope you can find our coats. Sorry.
We got to find those.
I just totally lost it because if you don't, we got to get a lot of stuff. Last year we got that, or 2 years ago we went to the outlet mall where we went to the ski shop.
Yeah.
We have time to do that. So
No, we're not going to have time. No.
All right. So will the Dolphins beat the Steelers on Monday Night Football? I don't think so.
Really?
No.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think the Steelers are going to win it for Ben. All the alumni will be there. We just don't play good in the cold. I don't think we're going to win. And Aaron Rodgers total touchdowns over under 2. As Jared said, Aaron Rodgers comes from Green Bay. He played at Lambeau. This man, he's not scared of cold. So
No.
I think I'm sure that he can go over 2.5. So
All right.
I'm going to say, will the Dolphins beat? Nope. And Aaron Rodgers, yes, because he can play in cold.
All right, so Miami Mike says no over. Mike, I do need the first part of the question, so make sure you drop that in there.
He said no. He said no.
Oh.
He's saying
Oh,
no.
no and over. Okay.
Come
I
on,
thought you said
what
no
are you
over.
doing?
Mike, I apologize. I'm trying to figure out where my code is well. So, yes, no and over. Got it, Mike. Sorry.
I got you, Mike. Little sis here got you.
And then Russ says the Dolphins are going to lose and Aaron Rodgers will be over 2.5.
They're saying the same thing I did. We're all in agreement.
All
We're
right,
all kumbaya on here.
All right. Well, I'll give you my picks. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. I think that the fact that they're, putting 3 guys who are champions and deserving to be in the Ring of Honor, that place is going to be electric. They're going to be wearing their color rush uniforms. So that's going to be tough as well. So I am going to say, just kidding. I think the Dolphins are going to somehow find a way to pull this out.
Okay.
I think we're going to take. Did I scare you there for a second?
I'm like, look, no one needs to yell.
Sorry,
right now.
I wanted to set it up to then change it on us.
Okay.
I think the Dolphins are going to actually pull this out, and the Dolphins are going to find a way to get a victory. I don't think we're going to have a chance to, win out and get to the playoffs, but I think they're going to be able to find a way to get this victory on Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh. I'm going to say Dolphins are going to win 23-21. That's my prediction. As far as Aaron Rodgers,
Mike said thanks. I got you.
okay. As far as Aaron Rodgers, I actually think he will go over 2.5.
Yeah.
I think all his touchdowns will be passing. I think he's going to find the end zone 3 times. So I'm going to say over on that. But more importantly, I think the Dolphins are able to win this game on Monday Night Football.
I sure hope. I would love an away game win this year. This year we were 1-3 on the road. We won in Atlanta, the huge game in Atlanta, but then unfortunately we lost in Carolina and in Buffalo. So I would love to split it 2-2 for away games this year. That'd be great. So we'll see, but I think it's really tough.
No Civic in the room saying Minka pick 6, book it. I love that prediction. So definitely we will see.
Come with us.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing.
All right. Okay, guys. So that's going to wrap it up. We got to pack. We got this
You got to look for our winter clothes unless we're going to be in trouble.
But we will be taking our horrible hankies.
Show Hunter what else he's getting too.
We're going to be throwing our horrible hankies out there, and we will see. So, all right, guys.
Oh, one more prediction. Adrian in the house.
Adrian says yes and under. Well, there you go.
Oh, that was like the opposite of what everyone's saying.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, we got it down there. All right, guys. Well, listen, if you haven't reached out on the show yet, you can still do it in the comment section. So after the show's over, drop your responses to the questions in the comment section. Of course, as always, like tonight's episode, goes a long way. And please consider subscribing to the channel.
Don't consider, do it. Subscribe.
What are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel. Guys, have a great rest of your week. And as always, fins up.
Fins up. Bye, guys.